Hello, and welcome to episode 25 of the Commodity Podcast. I'm your host, Gunter, and happy Saturday, and welcome back to another episode. Before we dive into the new Grotti release vehicles, I do want to discuss how I've been earning money. And in previous episode, I have relayed this message, but as different changes happen, I have been updating this method. So the main way I've earned money in GTA is from the salvage yard business, bunker business, nightclub business, and the car wash business. And if you do want like a full guide, full detailed breakdown, I'll link the card above. But basically, during the cool down periods between these businesses, I do like to do some freelance work and freelance work in the form of payphone hits or helping another player. If I do help another player, I always make sure it's more of a lower level player. But sometimes people do tend to get a little bit weird. And just recently, I had a random player join his organization and he started up a mission. And Homeboy just decided he wanted to sit down in the office and not move. And to be honest, I understand the whole CEO thing, but if it's just me and you in the organization and we're now doing a sales mission, who's going to watch my back if I'm trying to carry your product? So I don't know. I think it's a little bit weird, but aside from payphone hits and, random freelance work like that, recently I started earning money through the odd jobs. And so far, the firefighter job has to be the best out of all of them. There's other stuff like Quick Farmer, but honestly, most people just do that just to get the discount on the GTS, the Sentinel GTS, and nobody really plays that anymore. Or from what I can see, nobody's really doing the quickie farmer jobs. But by far, the firefighter is probably my favorite side job. I sold one of my salvage yard vehicles, and when I was going back to the salvage yard, that's when the firefighter job notification popped up on my phone. So I started working a job, and to be honest, I was kind of playing like one of Los Santos' best fire truck drivers because each dispatch is timed, and also it's very simple. It's actually pretty easy. So I completed like five of the dispatch missions to get the Revere collared shirt, and there was one dispatch that was quite annoying to me, and that was like the roof fires. And that was the only dispatch that I had lost money from, just because I didn't know how to get out the fire. I was pointing the hose towards the fire, and it wouldn't go out. But um, I do know, like, if there is a fire situation, um, or if this was a real life situation, you would technically spray the base of a fire, not the flames. So that's kind of like what I started doing in game. I started spraying towards the base of the roof fire, like underneath the enclave. And that should help put out the fire, or it helped me put out the fire. So if you run into this situation, that should help you put out the fire. The most interesting dispatch as a firefighter was probably rescuing the cat. This is one that you actually have to like figure out a way to uh, climb up to get the cat. And the first try, I think it took me like 2 minutes just to try to figure it out. But after a while, I was able to get it. It's interesting in the sense that once you actually figure out how to get the cat, you'll understand like how to do it every single time, if that makes any sense. The other odd job that I tried was the forklift operator. And I'm not gonna lie, this one also stopped me a little bit. It took me maybe like 5 minutes to understand what I needed to do. But good thing for this particular one, there's no time limit for the job. Um, I'm I'm not sure if I'm gonna do the forklift job again. If I'm being honest, it kind of seems slow. It's not really for me. I kind of like something a little bit more action. So like the firefighter fits me more because I had to like drive to the location in a certain amount of time. But I'm pretty sure that there's people out there that might like the forklift job, and just being realistic, this is actually a real job. So I'm pretty sure someone out there in real life drives a forklift and will be trying to do this in the game. The next one is the newspaper route, which I have not tried yet. just because I didn't know where the location was for this. I had to research online where to find this, and so now I know where to find it. I'll probably do it within, after this episode. I'll try to do the paper route and see if I like it or not. And who knows, maybe I'll release like a walkthrough or some sort of like rank video of all the odd jobs, which one pays out the most, and how to grind them. The other odd jobs, like I was mentioning before, is like the quickie farmer and the safeguard deliveries. These are still okay. Sometimes I do the safeguard deliveries just to, like, during the cool down times, I'll do the safeguard deliveries, just to switch things up. Sometimes it get a little boring if you keep doing the same thing over and over. And the taxi and pizza job, I was honestly never really interested in. So I never really did those odd jobs. So for now, during my cool down times, I'll keep doing payphone hits, but I'll also add the firefighter odd job. And there was one more job that I do like, which is being a getaway driver for a robber. This one is actually pretty easy. Out of all of the odd jobs, this is probably the easiest 25,000 you could probably make. All you have to do really is just keep the robber alive and drive him to the safe house. And again, these are like my freelance jobs. So I don't really like grind off of them, but it's just in between cooldown time is when I do these. So if you guys are interested in the actual method itself, I do have a full guide. And if you need some tips on how to manage your business in GTA or learn how to earn income, which based on the price of the new Itali Classic, you'll definitely need more than 2 millions to purchase and customize a car. In episode 24, during the garage tour, I mentioned selling the Stinger TT if Rockstar was to release the Italia Classic, which technically they did this Thursday that passed. So after selling the TT, I got back a certain amount. I don't actually remember at the moment, but I do know that it was more than 1 million. So technically, I only had to pay about give or take about 1.2 to 1.5 million for the new Itali Classic. But aside from how much the Itali Classic costs, design and performance wise, I do think that Rockstar did a great job with the Classic. At the moment, I'm still in the process of editing the next test drive video. This is going to be the GT500 video, and I'm kind of working on trying to do some of these test drive videos a little different. So this test drive is going back to the regular format. So stay tuned for that one. For the remainder of the week, I do plan on doing some research, mainly on the Ferraris from the 1960s to the 1980s. I do think that these are some of the best Ferraris in my opinion. The Itali Classic is based on the Ferrari 308 GTB. But there is an option to remove the roof from the Itali Classic. So with the roof removed, I could create a late 1960s Ferrari 308 GTS spec. And after driving around for a bit, you'll notice that the interior and the engine of the Itali Classic is a direct copy of the Grotti Turismo Classic. In the meantime, I'll do more research, maybe do a GTS build or, something with a rare color or something along those lines. It's been 1 month since my last car rotation. Back in December, I think my picks was the Sentinel XS4 and the Vapid Caracara. And just to give like a report on those two vehicles, the Caracara I mainly used during the snow in December, and the XS4 was my daily. To be honest, after relocating to the Vinewood Hills mansion, I moved the XX4 to the mansion garage. And also, when I changed the look of the auto shop business, I moved the Caracara to that location. In January, I didn't really have a car rotation per se. I mainly used the GT750, but overall, I do like both of these picks. The X4 has good acceleration, and for the test drive, I gave it a 6 for handling. But now that I had more time with the XS4, especially on track, I'll probably update the handling and score from a 6 in that video to a 8 out of 10. The Caracara I've featured in previous car rotation. This is one of those trucks that I'll always recommend. It's fast enough to drive every day, and it's very good in the snow as well. So, plus is probably one of the best looking pickup trucks in the game, and one of the most customizable pickup trucks. For February, my picks this month will be the Fister Astral as my daily driver, and for the weekend pick slash what I plan on driving when I'm not driving the Astro, um, that will be the Itali Classic once I'm finished with the test drive video. Continuing on the topic of cars, it's now time to discuss the best cars of the year. To make this list more interesting, I'm going to list the best combination of cars similar to my car rotation. So, usually for car rotation, I'll pick about 2 to 3 cars every month. And that's kind of like how I wanted to do this list. So these are the best 2 car solutions for different manufacturer or category, or based on, like, where you live in Los Santos. Starting at number 5, we have the Fister Astron and the Comment S2 Cabrio. The Comment S2 is one of my favorite convertibles in the game. Plus, it has good acceleration and high speed. The Astron is a good SUV overall. As a matter of fact, I would probably daily the Astron just because it has an all-wheel drive system, but also I love the sound and it has a decent amount of customization. Mine's is currently spec as a Macan GTS, but with so much customization options, you can pretty much create a base Macan, a Macan GTS, or a Macan Turbo. At number 4, we have the Benefactor Dubster and the Benefactor Sterling GT. The Dubster is probably one of the best all-purpose SUVs. It is good off-road, and it has really good off-road traction, and it has like average speed for a truck in its class. Plus, it's like relatively cheap, to be honest. You can steal one if you want, or you can actually buy one. But I do feel like this is like a good second or first car to have if you only have like a 2 car solution. Um, the Sterling GT, on the other hand, is more like a garage queen. The last time I drove this car, I was invited to a car meet, just a random car meet in the game. Someone just text and say, "Hey, we got a car meet." At one of those Los Santos at one of those customization spots. Um, but I took this thing out of storage, took it to my car wash business, and then I head to the meet. And you better believe that in real life, I would treat this car just like this. For number 3, we have the Grotti Turismo Amaggio and the Enos Deity. Um, Honestly, this combination right here is for someone who owns a property in Vinewood Hills, whether it's a mansion or not. I think the combination is a perfect option. Both cars are going to cost you just about 4 million after you purchase and customize, and that is a steep price if you can afford it. The Deity looks nice. It's based on the Bentley Flying Spur, and it's a good option for missions, especially if you're planning to play with other players. The Amaggio has very good top speed and good acceleration. Plus, in first person, you're able to hear the engine sound. It's just much more aggressive in first person. However, the Amaggio costs 2.8 million, and normally I would say this is expensive, but in real life, the FA Tributo is also expensive. So yeah, if you can afford the property in Vinewood, you definitely could afford the Amaggio and the Deity. Moving on, we have the Ubermacht Rebella GTS and the Ubermacht Reinhardt. Hands down, the best Ubermacht combo in the game. Both the Rebella and the Reinhardt are such versatile vehicles. You can literally do anything with both of them, especially if you're like, you know what? Let me not say that. Except for if you're into any sort of like overlanding role playing in GTA. That's probably what you can't use any of these vehicles for, because it's not really good off road or in the snow like that. But it's possible you can use them and get away with it in certain situations. Both vehicles have good top speed. They both can fit 4 passengers, and to be honest, like on flat pavement, street driving, track driving, both of them handle very, very, very well. Last year, I used both of these vehicles as options for my pick for the monthly car rotations, and I think I used the Reinhardt twice within 2025. So yeah, I would say this is a good combination. And if you already have these vehicles, just know you got two good starting vehicles if you only had a two-car garage. And this brings us to our last number one. This is gonna be the best two-car combination, and that's gonna be the Vapid Caracara 4x4 and the Ubermacht Sentinel GTS. I think I think I said this on multiple episodes that the Caracara is that one vehicle in this game for me. It's the SUV I drive around the most out of all my other SUVs, and I love how aggressive the engine sound plus how fast it moves considering this is a massive truck. The Sentinel GTS is the do everything kind of car. Um, you got to run to one of your business, grab the GTS. You got to go to Paleto Bay real quick, grab the GTS. I could go on and on to be honest, but you get the picture. It's based on the BMW G80 M3, and just like in real life, this shit is fast. It's also very competitive on track and handles like a dream, especially for someone who drives in first person mode. To be honest, you can combine any two vehicles in this list and still have a decent two-car combination. My number one pick for the cars of the year was mainly based on the vehicles that I used the most, and the Vapid Caracara and the GTS was the two vehicles that I used the most. Not necessarily which is the best car in game or the fastest car in game. More so my personal opinion and experiences. So yeah, well, that wraps up the car of the year, or I should say the best car combos of the year, based off my car rotation for last year. That's it for this episode. I want to thank all the new subs for showing some love. I did see you guys, everyone who subbed from I was at 100 to 107, and we're continuing to climb. I really appreciate it. Stay tuned for next episode. Let's just say that there's a few cars I would like to see in GTA 5 before GTA 6 drop. And I'll ask you guys to vote on these vehicles in the comment section when that video drop. Rockstar does tend to listen to the car community in GTA. And the last time we did do something like this, I think I had asked for an E36 M3 in that last video of the cars we want to see. And a couple months later, we end up getting something very, very close. We end up getting the Sentinel XS4, which is based on the E39 M5. And yeah, it's not the same, but it's still a BMW vehicle. And both the E36 and E39 was in production between 1995 and 1999. So in my eyes, it's close enough. As usual, if you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and comment below. Check out the Test Drive series, which release on Wednesdays at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and our podcast, which release on Saturdays, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. As always, you can get in touch with me on Instagram at Gunter Browne, or you can email me at inquire.gb@gmail.com. Thank you all for listening this week. And once again, thank you to all the new subscribers and welcome to the channel. Please join us next week for another episode of the Commodity Podcast. Peace.